mothers. Mostly, she heard her sisters, and they sounded distressed, which wasn't like them. This made it hard for Psyche to enjoy her swimming pool or her buffet lunch or the invisible shoulder massages given by her invisible spa attendants. One night, Psyche asked her husband about the voices because she thought she was going crazy. In the darkness, he laced his fingers through hers. You're not going crazy, my love. Your father and mother haven't been doing well since you disappeared. They are sick with grief. Since your body was never found, they made your sisters promise to look for you. Every day, your sisters travel to that spire of rock where you jumped into the wind. They've been calling your name. Psyche's heart turned into a lump of granite. She'd been so focused on herself, she hadn't considered how her family must be feeling. I have to go home, she said. I have to see my parents. You can't, said her husband. If you go now, you can never come back. Why? Can't Zephyrus just, it's not that simple. Her husband's voice was full of pain, maybe even a little fear. Psyche, I'm trying to protect you. You're under a death sentence from the gods. Well, one goddess in particular. Psyche had almost forgotten her troubles from being super gorgeous. You mean Afro, don't say her name, her husband warned. It's too easy to attract her attention. If you show yourself in the mortal world, all the adoration will start up again. The people will proclaim you a goddess. We'll both be in serious trouble. Everything we have here, our private world, will be compromised. Please, just let your family believe you're dead. Psyche never felt so torn. She was happy for the first time in her life. Despite the weird restrictions on their relationship, she had quickly grown to love her husband. She didn't want to mess that up. Plus, the buffet line was pretty sweet. On the other hand, her parents were sick from grief. Her sisters were searching for her daily, crying out her name. Psyche wasn't a selfish person. She didn't like turning her back on people. She couldn't enjoy her happiness knowing that others were miserable. What about a compromise? She asked. I won't leave, but let my sisters come here. Psyche, I'll make them swear to secrecy. They'll only stay long enough to see that I am alive and well. They'll just tell my parents so they can stop worrying. That's it. That is a very bad idea, her husband said. Your sisters have always been jealous of you. If you bring them into our home, they will poison your thoughts. If you love me, please listen to me. This will ruin everything. She kissed his hand. You know I love you. I promise I'll be careful. But you did say I should ask for whatever I needed. I need this. Reluctantly, her husband agreed. The next morning, Psyche walked to the field of wild flowers where she'd first landed. In the distance, she heard her sisters calling her name. Zephyrus, she said. Bring them here, please. Immediately, her sisters came plummeting out of the sky, screaming and flailing their arms. They landed face first in the wild flowers. I guess Zephyrus didn't think much of them. Or maybe they were flying economy class. Sisters, Psyche said. So glad to see you. Let me help you up. Ever had one of those urges to do something like, oh my gods, this is the best idea ever. And as soon as you do it, you're like, what was I thinking? Psyche felt that way as soon as she saw her siblings. Suddenly, she remembered how mean they could be. She started regretting her choice to bring them there. But it was too late now. So she tried to make the most out of it. Psyche gave them a tour of the palace. She explained how the wind had carried her there to meet her new husband. She apologized for not calling or writing, but there was this whole death sentence from the gods thing, and it was vitally important that the mortal world believe she was dead. At first, let me just read a comment. Let's take a quick break. Hello, Revolver Boss. Thank you so much for dropping by and commenting. And welcome. I appreciate your stay here. Let's continue. At first, the sisters were too stunned to say much. Over the course of the next few hours, they went from mystified to slightly relieved about their sister being alive to secretly outraged at how cool her new crib was. Psyche showed them the bowling alley, the indoor pool, the buffet, the endless bedrooms and gardens and living rooms, and a home theater room with a popcorn machine. What's in here? The eldest sister pulled open a closet door and was nearly crushed under an avalanche of gold bars, diamonds, rubies, and bow ties. Oh, that's just storage, Psyche said sheepishly. The middle sister stared at the treasure, which was worth more than her husband's entire kingdom. You have many storage closets like this? I haven't counted. A few dozen, but that's not important. She offered each sister a private suite to freshen up in before lunch. The invisible servants treated them to hot baths and massages, haircuts and pedicures. They got new outfits that were 50 times more stylish than their old ones, and jewelry worth more than their father's entire treasury. Let's take a pause to read a comment. Oh damn, I thought it was pre-recorded. You continue, I'm just here enjoying this. Okay. If I'm doing a live stream, you can trust that it's absolutely happening live. Okay, I will continue. And I'll respond to comments through comments from now. Where were we? Let's go back a little bit. Then they had peanut butter and jam sandwiches on the veranda because Psyche was all about BB&J. Who's your husband? Her eldest sister demanded. How can he afford all this? Oh, he's a merchant. Psyche felt bad about lying, but she'd promised her husband not to give away too many details, especially not the fact that he was invisible and only visited during total darkness. He was afraid that might freak out her sisters, though I can't imagine why. A merchant, the middle sister repeated. A merchant who controls the wind and has invisible servants. Well, he's very successful, Psyche mumbled. Can we meet him? Asked the elder sister. He's away. On business, Psyche stood abruptly. Well, it's been wonderful seeing you. I really have to get back to stuff. She loaded her sisters up with expensive presents and escorted them back to the edge of the valley. But Psyche, said the middle sister, at least let us visit you again. We'll bring you news from home. And we miss you. Don't we, sister? The eldest sister nodded, trying not to take her fingernails into her palms. Oh, so much. Please, let us visit again. I'm not sure, Psyche said. I promised my husband he wouldn't forbid a visit from your loving family. The middle sister laughed. He's not a monster, is he? Well, no, well, good, said the elder sister. Then we'll see you same time next week. Zephyrus carried the sisters away, but Psyche felt like she was the one trapped in a tornado. That night, Psyche told her husband about the visit. When he heard that the sisters wanted to visit again, he did not yell, hooray, and dance around the room. I warned you they would toy with your emotions, he said. Don't have them back. Don't let them wreck our happiness. Besides, he placed his hand gently on her belly. You have the baby to think about. Psyche's heart did a double flip. I'm going to... Are you sure? Yep. How? I just know. Please, no more family visits. Forget your sisters. Psyche wished she could. But if she was having a baby, she should at least tell her family, shouldn't she? Also, her sister's question kept replaying in her head. He's not a monster, is he? I'm committed now, Psyche said. I promise I won't let my sisters ruin our happiness. Just let them visit one more time. Her husband took his hand from her belly. I won't stop you. His voice sounded heavy with regret. Afterwards, for the first time, Psyche had trouble falling asleep in her comfortable new bed. That same night, as soon as the west wind returned, Psyche's sisters started to whine to each other. Oh my gods, shrieked the middle sister. Did you see that mansion? Did you see the gardens? Demanded the eldest sister. The bowling alley, the walk-in closets, what the Hades? I had to marry an old king with no hair and bad breath, and his house isn't half that nice. Stop complaining, said the middle sister. My husband has back trouble and terrible personal hygiene. He's repulsive. He certainly doesn't provide me with jewelry and invisible servants. And the popcorn machine. Oh, God's the popcorn machine. Both sisters sighed. You could almost see the green auras of envy glowing around their heads. We can't leave our sister in that place, said the eldest. It's obviously some trick or enchantment. Her husband probably is a monster. Totally a monster, the middle sister said. We have to find out the truth. For her own good. For her own good, the eldest sister agreed. Gods, I hate her so much right now. I know, right? They went back to their parents' palace because the sisters were in the mood to be spiteful. Instead of telling their mom and dad the truth, they reported that Psyche was dead. We saw the corpse, the middle sister said. There wasn't much left, but it was definitely her. It was disgusting. Disgusting, the eldest sister echoed. We buried her. Really gross. This news broke their parents' hearts. Within 3 nights, the king and queen were both dead. The sisters wept, but not too hard. Now they would get to divide the kingdom between the two of them. Besides, it served their parents right for letting their brat baby sister, Psyche, get all the attention and the best marriage. Yeah, the sisters, they were keepers. At the end of the week, they once again traveled to the rock spire. The west wind picked them up and carried them to Psyche's secret palace of popcorn and diamonds. He didn't dump them face first in the grass this time, because Psyche had made him promise not to. But he got passive-aggressive revenge by not giving them a proper safety briefing. Anyway, when they sat down to lunch with Psyche, the sisters were prepared. "So," said the eldest, "how's that great husband of yours?" "Oh, he's great," said Psyche. The middle sister smiled encouragingly. "What did you say he does for a living?" Psyche blanked. She'd never been a good liar. Now she couldn't remember what she told her sisters. "Well, he's, a shepherd." "A shepherd?" "Yes," Psyche said meekly. "A rich shepherd." Her eldest sister leaned forward and took her hands. She put on her best "I care so much about you" look, even though she wanted to strangle the lucky, undeserving, infuriatingly gorgeous girl. "Psyche, what are you not telling us? Last week, you said your husband was a merchant. Now, he's a shepherd. We're your sisters. Let us help you." "But everything's fine." The two sisters exchanged a knowing glance. That's what people usually say when everything is not fine, said the middle sister. "Psyche, we think you're in danger. You haven't forgotten about the prophecy from the Oracle of Delphi, have you? You were doomed to marry a monster, a beast that terrifies even the gods. Prophecies always come true. Dad was constantly worrying about that. He talked about it non-stop. Right up until he died." Psyche choked on her lemonade. Wait, Dad is dead. Yes, he died of sadness because he wouldn't come visit him. But that's not important right now. You have to tell us, who is your husband really? I know I said that I would respond to comments with a comment, but I just really appreciate this. Thank you so much, Revolver Boss, for sending a donation. It means so much, even if it's just 1 cent. Thank you, and I hope I can continue to see you in future videos. Psyche felt like someone was spraying her up to her neck in sand. Her father was dead. Her sisters were trying to help her. Prophecies were never wrong. But her husband's voice, his gentleness, I don't know who he is, Psyche admitted. I'm not allowed to look at him. What? The middle sister said. Whoa. Back up and tell us everything. Psyche shouldn't have, but she confessed about her husband's invisibility, his nighttime visits, his refusal to tell her his name. She told him everything, from her unborn child to her My Little Pegasus pajamas with the footsies. Everything. It's worse than I thought, said the eldest sister. You see what's happening, don't you? No, Psyche said. Your husband is a dragon, said the eldest sister. Dragons can take human form. They can turn invisible and do all sorts of sorcery. I bet he's keeping you alive to fatten you up. Once your belly is nice and big. Sister, Psyche protested. That's impossible. I'm so sick. But she's right, said the middle sister. That happens all the time with dragons. It does, said Psyche. The eldest sister nodded gravely. You have to save yourself. Tonight, when your husband is asleep, light a lamp or something. Check out his true form. I hope I'm wrong. Really, I do. But I'm not. Be sure you keep some sort of knife or razor handy. When you see his horrible, monstrous face, you have to be quick. Cut off his head, then call us back to the valley, and we'll help you get out of there. We'll divide up all this lovely treasure, the middle sister said. Although that's not important, the eldest sister said. not important at all, the middle sister agreed. We only care about your safety and happiness, Psyche. We'll take you back home and find you a proper mortal husband, like ours. Yes, the eldest sister agreed, thinking, a much older, smellier husband. I don't know, Psyche said. I can't. Just consider what we've said, the eldest sister urged. And for the God's sake, be careful. Having thus advised Psyche to destroy her life very carefully, the sisters returned to the mortal world via Zephyr's airways. That night, Psyche made herself ready to do the stupidest thing in the history of ever. In one of the bathroom cabinets, she found a straight razor. You know, one of those old-fashioned, Sweeney Todd looking things that would make a great weapon if you were, say, attacked by a giant feral pig. Not that I would know anything about that. She hid the razor in her nightstand drawer, along with an olive oil lamp and a box of matches, or whatever they used to light stuff back then. Heck, I don't know. As usual, her husband arrived after dark. All the lights went out, and he sat on the bed, and they talked for a while. I also wanna take a quick break again, just to say this. Thank you for saying that, for telling me not to worry about the background noises, especially the bikes in the background. But now that you mentioned it, every time I hear a bike passing by or a car or anything, I have to physically stop myself from laughing, and it's so hard. But thank you. I'm gonna keep going. Let's go back a bit. As usual, her husband arrived after dark. All the lights went out, and he sat on the bed, and they talked for a while. How's your day? Oh, fine. My sisters didn't say anything that made me homicidally paranoid. Good. Love you. Good night. Or something along those lines. Around 3 in the morning, when she could tell from her husband's deep breathing that he was asleep, Psyche slipped out on her side of the bed. She retrieved the razor lamp from her nightstand drawer. She lit the wick, so a dim red glow spilled across the sheets. Her husband lay on his side, facing away from her. Feather comforters were piled up at his back. Wait, weren't those weren't feather comforters. Psyche stared in amazement at the giant, downy white wings folded along her husband's shoulder blades. How was that possible? She'd never felt wings on his back before. Also, if she'd managed not to notice his wings, what else might she have missed? What if his face wasn't as handsome or as human as it felt under her fingertips in the dark? Your husband's her dragon, her sister's voice whispered in her head. A beast that terrifies even the gods. Psyche's heart hammered against her sternum. Slowly, she moved around the bed until she stood directly over her husband. The shadows receded from her sleeping face, from his sleeping face. Psyche stifled a gasp. Her husband was unbelievably hot. Again, I'll leave the details to your imagination. He was amazing. So amazing, in fact, that Psyche's arms grew weak. The lamp trembled in her hand. The razor suddenly felt heavy. Psyche didn't understand why her husband was worried about being seen. What did he have to hide? Then she noticed something else. A bow and a quiver of arrows hanging from a peg over his nightstand. His wings, his weapons, his face too gorgeous for any mortal. Psyche suddenly understood. Eros, she whispered to herself. My husband. His Eros. Pro tip. Saying a god's name is not a good idea if you don't want to get their attention. After all, a lot of them spend hours on Google looking up their names. Saying a god's name while you're standing over him with a razor to lamp, definitely a no-no. Also, thank you again, Revolver Boss, for saying it adds immersion to the story. And yeah, Ayo, what's going on with the description with Eros? I'm not the one who wrote this story, Percy Jackson did. Eros must have sensed her closeness. He muttered and turned in his sleep, startling Psyche single drop of hot oil sloshed from her lamp and sizzled on the god's bare shoulder. Ow! Eros lurched upright, and his eyes flew open. Husband and wife stared at each other, momentarily frozen in the red light of the lamp. In a microsecond, Eros's expression changed from shock to regret to bitterness. He snatched up his bow and quiver, spread his wings, and pushed Psyche aside. No! Psyche dropped her laser lamp. She lunged, just managing to grab the god's left ankle as he took off. Please, I'm sorry. Eros flew straight out of the window, dragging Psyche with him. As they passed through the garden, she lost her grip and tumbled. Despite himself, Eros hesitated. He alighted at the top of a cypress tree and looked down to make sure Psyche was okay. Not that it mattered now. The relationship was over. She lay crumpled on the ground, weeping and calling his name. But his heart had hardened. The single drop of oil had burned his shoulder so badly he could barely think through the pain. Foolish Psyche, he said from the top of the tree. I warned you. By all the gods, I warned you. Eros, please, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Sorry? He shouted. I disobeyed my mother for you. I risked everything. Aphrodite ordered me to make you fall in love with the most despicable human being I could find. Instead, I fell in love with you. I created this whole valley, the palace, the servants, everything, so I could hide you from my mother's gaze. We could have lived here in peace, but as soon as he saw me, as soon as he said my name, the magic was broken. Look, behind them, the palace crumbled to dust. The gardens withered. The whole valley became a barren plain, desolate and gray in the moonlight. You listened to your sisters, Eros said. They wanted this. They wanted you to be miserable. I warned you, but you chose to believe them instead of me. Now my mother will find out about you. It's only a matter of time. She'll see the truth. Neither one of us will escape her wrath. Run while you can, Psyche. She'll never stop until she hunts you down. You dishonored her? Now, you've dishonored me. I love you, Psyche wailed. Please, we can make our marriage work. We can... Eros spread his wings and flew into the night, leaving Psyche heartbroken and pregnant and alone. uplifting story, right? Don't you feel awesome now? But it gets worse. After Eros flew away, Psyche wandered in a daze. At the edge of the valley, she reached the banks of a river and decided to throw herself in and drown. Now, kids, jumping into a river to drown yourself is never the answer. Especially if the river is like 2 feet deep only, which it was. Psyche just kinda stumbled in and sat there bawling and looking silly. Yeah, Ethan, you missed a lot. And yeah, Eros? Yeah. It so happened that Pan, the satyr god of the wilderness, was napping nearby after a 3-day party. All the splashing and crying woke him up. He staggered to the river, saw a gorgeous girl floundering around, and wondered if he was hallucinating. Hey, beautiful. Pan leaned against a tree so he wouldn't fall over. You look sad. Let me guess. Don't tell me. Love problems. Right? Psyche was so distraught. She didn't even care that a drunken goat man was talking to her. She nodded miserably. Sorry. I forgot to mute that part. This is like my problem with lives. With live streams. You know what? I'm just gonna cut this part off in the official publishment. I need to. I'm so sorry. You know what? Oh my gosh. Okay, now my neighbors are being noisy. Revolver boss, I'm afraid this is no longer adding to the charm. Oh my gosh. To everyone watching. Oh no. There are 8 people watching. To the 8 people watching, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. Please. The fact that you're laughing as well is not helping me. It makes me laugh even more. Oh my gosh. If you guys could fly to my country right now and tell my neighbors to be quiet, I would appreciate it if you could do that. Okay, I think it's quieter now. Okay, let's pretend I have powers. I have powers to control your memory. At least we got content. No, Ethan! That's not the type of content I wanted to give you guys. It's not ASMR. Okay, where was I? Let's pretend we have powers, and I can control your memories, I can control your mind. And this never happened, okay? I wasn't laughing, I didn't cough, my neighbors didn't become noisy, nothing. Okay, shh. Let's go back. Again, one more time. drown yourself, said the god. That's no solution. You know what you should do? If your problem is about love, pray to Eros, the god of love. He's the only one who can help you. Psyche began crying her eyes out. Well, glad we had this little chat. I'll just go over here now. He quickly retreated. He had enough of a headache without the screaming and the trauma. Dawn came up, and Psyche started to calm down. Her misery didn't subside, but it became heavy and cold, slowly turning into determination. Maybe that goat man was right, she said. Eros is the only one who can help me. I need to find him and make him forgive me. I won't take no for an answer. But first, her eyes took on a steely gleam. Probably a good thing no one else is around, because they would have called the homicidal maniac hotline. First, I have to thank my sisters for their help. Turns out, Psyche had a cruel streak. It took a lot to make her angry, but the destruction of her marriage, that definitely did the trick. She wandered across the countryside for days until she found the city-state where her eldest sister's husband was king. At first, the gods wanted to turn Psyche away because she looked like a homeless lady. But finally, they realized who she was. They recognized her from the recent article, 5 hot new goddesses to worship. They brought her inside to see her sister. Oh dear, look at you, said the eldest sister, secretly delighted. My poor Psyche. What happened? It's a long story, Psyche said, wiping away a tear. I followed your advice, but it didn't go the way I expected. Your husband? Is he a monster? Is he dead? Neither. Psyche sighed. I saw his true form. You're not going to believe this, but he's the god Eros. She described how amazing he was. Every detail. She didn't have to fake her heartache. She told her sister the truth about what had happened, right up until the end. Before he flew away, Psyche said, "Eros told me he was dumping me. He said he would marry my sister instead. He called you by name." The eldest sister's size became the size of drachmas. If she'd had any doubts about Psyche's story, she now believed every word of it. It made total sense. Who else but the god of love would have a super billionaire mansion like that with invisible servants and home theater systems and a water slide? Hold on, I've been trying to... You know what? I give up on making this pure ASMR. I give up completely. Where was I? I've been trying to focus on reading, but I've been making lots of mistakes because I'm trying to read the chat as well. I'm so sorry for sending the wrong Discord link. I don't even know how Discord links look like. Like invite links. Feathen created this Discord for me. You can see that? That's horrible. Hold on. Now I'm struggling on how I can pin this new message. Hold on. Okay. This should work, right? Thank you so much, Feathen, and thank you so much, Revolver Boss. And thank you, everyone. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Let's go back a little bit. The eldest sister's size became the size of drachmas. If she'd had any doubts about Psyche's story, she now believed every word of it. It made total sense. Who else but the god of love would have a super billionaire mansion like that, with invisible servants and home theater systems and a water slide? And Eros had called her by name. He obviously had good taste. He had seen past Psyche's silly gorgeousness. The eldest sister would finally have everything she deserved. "Oh, Psyche," she said. "I'm so sorry. Will you excuse me a moment?" The eldest sister ran out of the room. She stopped at her husband's audience chamber long enough to shout at him, "I want a divorce." Then she took the fastest horse from the stables and rode out of the kingdom. She didn't stop until she reached the spire of rock where she'd first been swept away by Zephyrus. She climbed to the top and shouted, "I'm here, Eros. Take me, my beloved." She jumped off and plummeted to her death. Boy, did Zephyrus get a good laugh out of that. You should never try to board a flight until your group number is called. Everybody knows that. Meanwhile, Psyche continued her travels. She fell to the kingdom where the middle sister lived and told her the same story. Hold on. What do you mean you're going to spread my channel like a religion? I'd appreciate it, but I'd also appreciate it if you don't form a cult under my name. I just turned 20 the other day. Oh wait, I don't think... Oh my gosh. I don't think I'm supposed to say my age. That didn't happen. I feel like I have so much parts I need to cut out that I'm starting to think if I should delete my channel instead and start over. It was my birthday on October 4, like in real life. Watch this channel get deleted after me publishing this. Hold on, my laptop is slow bad. Okay, I'm going to get the charger. I'm just going to... It's already like an hour, I believe. I usually end my streams after an hour. So I'm going to be ending this stream soon too. Didn't hear anything, surely? Wonderful. I love that. Okay. Thank you so much for greeting my birthday. Okay. Meanwhile, Psyche continued her travels. She found the kingdom where the middle sister lived and told her the same story. The weirdest thing? Psyche concluded. Eros said he was going to marry my sister now. He mentioned you by name. Inflamed with desire, the middle sister ran out of the palace, commandeered a horse, charged to the rock spire, and, with hope in her heart, launched herself to death. Cult of Psyche, I guess. But if anybody deserved to take a header off a 500-foot rock, it was those two ladies. Having run out of sisters to destroy, I stuttered. Okay, you know what? This is not ASMR anymore. I stuttered a couple of times throughout this video, and I stuttered again, and that was like my worst stutter so far, and I'm just... You know what? I'm just going to end it here. And don't delete the channel. I just got here. Things happen. Nobody heard anything. Just the story, surely. Yeah. Wait. Oh, okay. Okay. Great. Great. Now my mic fell down. Wonderful. Things are just not going my way. Oh my gosh. If you guys say that you heard anything besides the story, or you're lying, you're a pathological liar. You know what? I'm going to end it here. I'm going to end it here, and I'm going to start another stream continuing this story. Oh, yes. Well, okay. Alright, yeah. I'm going to... What was I going to say? Right. Maybe... I promise this that I'm not gonna take a nap so that I don't end up falling asleep for hours. I'm not going to take a nap. I'm just going to take a short break, clean my apartment, and then go back to streaming. As for the Call of Duty stream, I have to still adjust my buttons. I still have to adjust my buttons to 4 fingers. in a way that also won't be too difficult because of my long nails. But yeah, I don't think it will take too long. It's okay. This never happened. I don't exist, surely. Yes. Revolver Boss is just a fragment of my imagination. I'm still asleep. I'm still dreaming. Thank you. Surely. I need you guys to believe in me. Okay? Next stream will be a proper ASMR, and I won't end up falling asleep for hours this time. I promise. I swear. Okay, I'm gonna go. Long nail, yes, queen. Stop it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm going to do ASMR. Tapping, scratching. Maybe late in the night when I don't have neighbors screaming and shouting and bikes going like 200 miles per hour past my apartment. Okay. Thank you so much, Phelan, Warren, Revolver Boss, and to all the other silent viewers who stayed and watched, especially after after that failed part where I coughed without muting. Thank you so much. See you maybe in an hour or less or more. Bye bye.